Hey guys, it's DC and welcome to the Soap Sanctuary where all soap lovers are welcome, guys. This is my first ever Hollyoaks review. Will Demarcus ever get justice, guys? Guys, I've just started watching Hollyoaks for the past few weeks and this show has been amazing. I love this show. I've been watching EastEnders too. I haven't got the chance to watch Coronation Street or Emmerdale. But I've been watching a lot of Hollyoaks and EastEnders. Hollyoaks to me is the best. I haven't seen I've seen snippets of the other soaps, but it seems like Hollyoaks is the best. Like, I like the pacing. They've got a large cast, but I feel like they pick up the storylines quick. I like it. It's pretty diverse. He's got a lot of representation in it, so I'm like, I can mess with this. I can mess with this a long way on the show. I can mess with it. It kind of reminds me. Of One Life to Live. A lot of times, it's probably from what I've seen, so it's like the most diverse cast on the British soaps, and this is one of the most younger of the soaps, which makes sense because a little more in touch. You know, when the shows are more younger, youth oriented, you're gonna see more of these type of things on there because of the fan base and the audience. But I want to talk about this. Will Demarcus ever get justice, guys? In all technicality, it's really Grace who deserves the justice because she was Saul's fiance. Well, almost fiance. I'm gonna say she was Saul's fiance. So it's really Grace deserves the justice, but at this point, there's so much injustice happening towards Demarcus, like being framed, being set up. And at this point in time, when he wanted to run, and his government's like, no, you can't run, Demarcus. And I was like, you know what, sis, like, let him run. You know, Felix is standing by his son and trying to have his back. You know what I mean? Like, and I get where Felix is coming from because Felix went through some stuff during his time too in foster care. You know, I've been watching past clips of Hollyoaks to understand more of the characters and their background. And I know that Felix felt like he was being picked on because he was black at the group home that he was at growing up as a kid. So I understand why he feels like, you know, not only that, but like he wasn't there for Demarcus during earlier years, so now he wants to be there for him in his toughest time. So I get it. And Grace is really irking my nerves. But now at this point, the evidence is like at its most damning towards Demarcus. So he ran, and I don't know what's gonna happen next. And I think that's what happened. He ran. If I understand correctly, I don't blame him. I really don't blame Demarcus for running. I don't blame him. And it's just like, but the thing is, I could be ignorant to the character's history, but doesn't anybody think like, okay, it seems strange that like Demarcus go to stabbing Saul? Like, was it that deep? Was it that deep that he would stab Saul? So I don't know. That's my take on that. Honestly, it's my take on that. And I want to talk about next is Sid and his savior complex. It's gonna be a really short review, but this is my first review, guys, so bear with me. I love Sid's character. He just seems so stand-up. Now, I don't know about the stuff he did in the past. I'm just started watching now. Bear with me. But I just love his character, especially the way he was like, you know, I don't believe Demarcus did this. Like, he's a very fair and earnest and honest individual. And you can't just help but to fall in love with Sid. You just can't help it. You're like already falling in love with Sid because his character on the show. I mean, even calling out Juliet for cheating on his sister Perry with Nadira. And personally for me, Perry, I believe, is his foster sister, if I'm not correct, but that's still his sister. He should have told Perry. And I don't know if he was trying to give Juliet the chance to tell Perry on her own, but it's just so much more work. Like, you have to give that person an ultimatum. That's what you use to do in situations. Like, listen, you tell them, either you tell them or I will. So that when the person says, why didn't you tell me? You could at least have plausible deniability and say that I said they had to tell you, or I would. You know, but you didn't give no ultimatum to Juliet. At least I don't believe he did. So now Perry has found out, and Perry is hurt. Perry is really hurt from what happened, and I feel her. And honestly, I do feel like Juliet is going for the spur of the moment because Nadira is this new girl coming in, and she's closeted, and it just seems hot and the thrill and the adventure. I do feel like low-key Juliet is chasing that. You know, and if that's the case, you don't know what you want, sis. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. And I could understand that personally. I understand that, like, personally for me, I don't think Nadira's gonna break up with Shaq just to go be with Juliet. And that's something Juliet doesn't understand. There's a lot of variables in mind. Oh, I'm gonna dump her and she's just gonna come to my side. That's how you think it's gonna be? She just came out too on top of that. Even if you and Adira do ride off on a sunset together, how long will that sunset last? Because the worst thing I would say in a relationship is that you don't want someone to figure out what they want through you. You don't want to be that test drive. You just don't. Like me, I would never date a guy who just came out or who's never dated before. I don't do that. You have to have experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to know what you want. Be clear about that. And I don't want you to find out what you don't want through me. That hurts. And that could be an ego thing I'm saying that from, but I'm just being honest. You don't want to be that test drive on that. You don't want to be somebody's test drive. And that's what Juliet will be for Nadira. You will be that girl's test drive. I promise you. That's what you will be. So to me, and Nadira, after talking to Shaq's mom, she's like, or I think that was his grandmother, she was like, oh damn, like I don't know if I can do this. And she's giving up so much just to go run off in the sunset with Juliet, who was a hot mess. She's like a hot mess to me. I'm being honest. That girl's like a hot mess. If I could just be honest with you. She really just seemed like a hot mess. And you expect Nadira just to sacrifice her whole entire engagement for this? Come on. You know? Another thing I want to talk about is John Paul and the detective. I forgot her name. I'm still learning the name, guys. But John Paul. What happened exactly with Freya? I'm still trying to figure all this out. What happened with Freya? I guess that the detective is framing him. And when they found the evidence, was that the guy who actually did kill Saul that planted it, or was the detective? Because honestly, that detective, if you were able to do that to somebody and blackmail somebody, you're capable of anything. I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to fabricate evidence in the case of Demarcus and Saul to get a conviction on him. You know, the one good thing about this storyline is that Saul is black. And I'm telling you why I think that's a good thing on the storyline, because I was talking about it with JLJ Media on their lives, optics, right? Optics. So we can just focus on this being a storyline about a character killing a cop, and not so much race won't play so much of a part into this. So if the cop was white, I would then think, okay, was this detective, if she fabricated evidence to get a conviction on Demarcus, is she racist or something? That would cross my mind for a hot second. Like it would in real life. It would. But the fact that Saul is also black, I know it can't be that. Or maybe it still is. I don't know. I don't know, guys. But anyways, guys, that is my shortest review for Hollyoaks this week. That's my short review. I'm still figuring out the characters and names, guys. I was going to try to do EastEnders, but I didn't get the chance to, because I want to talk about the trash ass of a character that is Ben Mitchell. This is the most worst character I've ever seen written on soaps. It's even hard for me to empathize with this man, even regardless of what happened to him 2 months ago. That does not give you an excuse to act like the way you've been acting with everybody else and all of Walford and Albert Square. So that is my Hollyoaks reviews, guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'm out.